Hello everyone, and welcome to Joe and Zach's Survival. Well, we filled out all the tags deer hunting, and I'm going to stay up to the tent a couple more days, but what I like to do now is, since deer hunting is still going, and the deer are in rut, and you can see what their patterns are and where their trails are and everything, I look for new areas to put stands in for next year. And because most people hunt pretty close to the road, and even if it's a logging road, that's where the people go. And I'm just as guilty. I've got several stands that are not all that far off the road. It's easy for the kids to get into. We shoot deer there and everything, but sometimes you like to get way back in the woods, and there's so many of these ski trails up here that a person can go back on. You just have to be willing to put a few miles on foot this time of year to check it out. And then because you come up here in the summertime, you can't tell. You can see deer trails, but you don't know where the buck scrapes are and stuff like that. So what I'm doing today is I'm going to go out and I'm going to put a couple miles on and see if I can find any sign that's way back in here where nobody hunts. Okay, so a little while back there was quite a few deer tracks, and now they've kind of disappeared, but I saw two timber wolves when I was out on my stand one day, and this is a big boy here. Those are some big tracks. So I know that they've moved into the area now because the deer have been around and we've been seeing a lot of sign. But this is fresh today, but we'll see where it goes. The wolves aren't stupid. They know where the deer are too. Okay, so now we get up a little farther. We have wolf tracks here and we have deer tracks, but the deer is running. One thing that I've been doing when I've been up here for the last week and a half is looking for chaga, which I had found before in the one video, and I found quite a bit of it, and I'm thinking there's a birch tree in there and that looks like a big chunk of chaga on there, so I'm going to walk in here and check it out. I don't have a ladder to get me that high, but I'll definitely mark it with my GPS, and I could always come back later. Look at the size of that. I don't know if the camera gets dark on it because it's so light. That is way bigger than the other piece I found, and there's even more going up the tree farther. Definitely going to GPS this site. There we go, saved. So as I was walking on the trail, which is beyond these little pine trees, but it's real swampy and wet, and it's not cold enough for it to get froze so you can walk on it, so I have to walk around it. And it's a funny thing because I get to here, and here there's been several deer that have been doing the exact same thing, getting around this little chunk of water, and on the other side of it is swamp. So this would tell me that this might be a pretty decent spot to put a stand, because it's a natural funnel. They always will go to the easiest route, and but it's so thick in here, you just to try to find a spot, maybe up on that hill. I think I'm going to go up there and see what's on the other side and check that out. Okay, I come up over the one hill and back down and up onto this hill, and then it drops back down and we go back down into a swamp. So this would be a natural funnel area, although I'm not seeing any major deer trail here. There was still 4 sets that went through, and it only takes 1 to shoot. So although the deer also kind of stay more towards the road because that's where they do the logging and stuff like that, so they've got a lot more to eat, when they get pushed during deer hunting, they disappear. This is the kind of area they're coming back to. So I'm going to mark this area too, and just kind of an area to come back and check. So here we have some deer tracks here. Looks like they attempted to do a little bit of a scrape when the snow was on, and looks like they're going into the woods there. They're going up the trail there, and they're also going across over into here. So I'm going to walk up there and see what it looks like. Okay, now I'm in this real thick stuff here, and it's surprising you walk through this kind of stuff, and every so often there's where the deer will be walking through. If a guy could get a stand up in here, you'd have to have snow on the ground to be able to see the deer, but when they get pushed, I'm sure they come in here because nobody comes in here. This is ridiculous. Here's another one just walking through. I mean, how do they even get through this stuff? There we go. That's a pretty fresh deer bed. I'm surprised now, and here we have several tracks, and I know where we're at, so we're going to go over a couple more hills, and there's an area that they actually logged out, and I'm sure they're eating there and then just kind of retreating back into here. This is kind of a neat spot. Got another deer bed here. Okay, we got a regular little deer trail here, and I'm going to see what it's like at the top of that hill right there. That might be a really good spot to put a stand. I do think this area looks pretty good. We're on a high ridge, so it drops way down there. Then we have our ridge here, and it drops way the hell down there. And the deer are really running that bottom. I'm going to mark this with my GPS, and maybe next year we could put a stand against this tree right here. That is a big rock. Well, everyone, got about a half a mile to go till I get back to my truck, and did a lot of walking. Saw some pretty neat areas, and now I have a couple ideas for next year if I want to put up a few extra deer stands. You just really can't have enough of them because you just never know where the deer are going to be. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed following along, and thanks a lot for watching the Joe and Zach Survival Channel.